Hello, I'm Rachel Matthews from SuccessfulGardenDesigner.com. In the previous segments, we first looked at the foundational level of garden design, and that is getting your garden to scale on a piece of paper so that you can design it accurately and everything fits when you come to build it. Then we looked at the formational level, where you actually start to put pencil to paper and you come up with the ideas and shapes that suit your garden to make the most of the layout so that it looks good all year round. We created interest with movement, drawing the eye from one side of the garden to the other, and then we chose the materials to suit the style of garden we wanted. So straight, hard lines for contemporary and modern gardens, and for more rustic and traditional, more lumpy bumpy paving and structures. So in this final segment, we're going to look at the finishing touches, what really adds the wow factor to your garden. Here's where you finally get to put in all the features and plants that most people are chomping at the bit and make the mistake of doing first before they've got a good design layout. So the wow factors can be anything from garden lighting to a sculpture to a bench to a pergola. Anything that adds interest and the wow factor to your garden. Now, what you use will come down to your personal tastes and also the style of garden you're trying to create. If you've got neighbours and unwanted views that you want to screen, then pergolas and arches can be a good idea. Adding height to the garden is also very valuable in small spaces, but you need to be careful to get the proportion right, which is something I cover in the courses. The next part is the planting, which is something most people tend to enjoy. But with the thousands of plants out there, it can be very daunting and very time-consuming trying to find the right plants for the right place. So what I teach in my courses in the 5-Minute Plant Expert is how you learn the characteristics of plants. So even if you don't know the name, you'll be able to tell just by looking at its leaves the types of conditions they like to grow in. For example, plants with a silver foliage. They tend to have a little furriness to them, or they can just be silvery. They have adapted to grow in hot, dry conditions. So if you've got a wet, boggy garden, things like lavenders and stachys are unlikely to do well. And also, you'll know not to plant silverleaf plants in the shade. Same with purple leaf plants. That purpling is kind of like putting shades on. It just helps screen a little bit of that brilliant sunshine that we rarely see in the UK. So if you put a purple leafed plant in the shade, it's going to probably go a muddy kind of brown colour. So if you want that glorious purple foliage, then it needs a decent amount of sun in order to do it and to thrive. So they're just a couple of examples that help make life a little bit easier when it comes to choosing the plants. I also recommend that you dig some test holes around your garden, especially if it's a new garden. And you can see by the colour of the soil how nutritious it is. The darker the soil, the more organic material and nutrient rich it is likely to be. You can also do a test run to see just how sticky the soil is. Is it clay? Is it like making a pot? Then you're going to need to add some drainage with perhaps some gravel. But regardless of the conditions you've got, adding good organic material always helps improve the soil structure. So a good dollop of good old-fashioned horse manure goes a long way because it's the bacteria in the soil that feed the plants. They enable the releasing of all the minerals and nutrients within the soil. So the more organic matter you have, the more bacteria you have, which will feed the plants and make your garden healthy. So once you know the types of plants to put in your garden, then you get to the planting plan formula. You need to combine plants in a way that looks good. Most people make the mistake of choosing plants because of their flowers. Now, if you're in the cooler parts of the world, like we are in England, then you're not getting that abundance of tropical flowers that you've got flowers lasting all year. So a trick I like to show people is a garden full of flowers. And people go, oh yes, that's wonderful, that's beautiful. Then I turn the picture black and white so you can see what it would look like without the flowers. And you'll see that the foliage tends to look all of a mess and it blurs into one. So one of the tricks to getting a great planting scheme is combining plants in a way that they look good when they're not in flower. And that's something I teach people in the Plant Design Formula course, because you want your garden to look good for as much of the year as possible. And if you've got a good design layout and you choose the right plants and put them in the right place, then you are on to an absolute winner. So to recap, everything we've covered in this short series on garden design is 1, don't do your garden without putting it on paper first. 2, don't get caught up with all the plants and beautiful features until you've got a good design layout, until you've come up with something that will make the most of the space you've got and create as much interest as you can, drawing the eye round the garden with different features and little sitting areas and all things that create interest. Then you add the plants and the features. You work out the focal points. Now, if you've gone through the design process properly, you will have natural areas that were suitable for focal points and features. And then when you come to put the plants in, they are the icing on the cake of your perfectly designed garden. So if you'd like me to guide you through everything step by step, then head on over to successfulgardendesigner.com. I offer some free web classes where I'll walk you through all of this in much more detail, as well as full online garden design courses that work anywhere in the world. So I hope this short series has been useful for you, and I look forward to seeing you in one of my garden design classes or courses. So until next time, take care.